In one of our last videos, I told you about what happened in Belfast last night and who's running the playbook. Today I want to tell you something that I think is getting almost no coverage in the mainstream, which is what is actually underneath this historically. Because if you don't know the history of Northern Ireland, where some of my kin is from, what you saw last night looks like an anti-immigration riot. And it is that, but it's also something far older and far more dangerous. Let's give the short version of what you need to know. Northern Ireland spent roughly 30 years, from the late 60s to 1998, in a conflict called the Troubles. On the one hand, Unionists and Loyalists, predominantly Protestant. They want Northern Ireland to remain part of the United Kingdom. On the other side, Nationalists and Republicans, predominantly Catholic, they want a united Ireland. Each side had a paramilitary organization willing to kill for their goals. The Loyalist side had the UVF, the Ulster Volunteer Force, and the UDA, the Ulster Defence Association. The Republican side had the IRA, the Irish Republican Army. Full disclosure, I'm nominally Catholic, and apparently I have ancestors who are in the IRA. Thousands of people died over the years. Bombs in pubs, shootings on street corners, kneecapping, sectarian murders, children growing up knowing which side of which street you could walk on and which you couldn't. The Good Friday Agreement in 1998 ended the formal conflict, but it didn't dissolve the organizations. It didn't erase the geography. The UVF, the UDA, and some fragments of the IRA still exist in the form of the real IRA or the continuity IRA. They're still present in Loyalist working class communities throughout Belfast. The interface areas, the streets where Loyalists and Nationalist neighborhoods meet, are still physically marked with murals and peace walls. Some of those peace walls are still standing because without them, the violence would return immediately. Now, here's the part you need to hold on to. The protest last night gathered at a specific location, the Newtownards Road, the Crumlin Road. These are not random streets. The Newtownards Road runs through Loyalist East Belfast. The Crumlin Road runs through an area that has historically been one of the most contested sectarian interfaces in the city of Belfast. The people who chose those gathering points know exactly what those locations mean. You don't accidentally organize on the Crumlin Road. You choose it because it means something. And here's the new and genuinely alarming development that a report published last year documented. The far-right anti-immigration networks operating in Ireland and Britain are now explicitly working alongside Ulster Loyalists who are connected to the current US administration. The connections to British neo-Nazi networks with direct ties to loyalist groups, North American far-right influencers, and Russian-aligned propaganda outlets. These networks have found common cause. Irish nationalists who oppose immigration and Ulster Loyalists who oppose immigration are now, in some cases, in the same room. Organizing together, groups that spend decades shooting each other and killing each other have found a shared enemy in the form of immigrants, and they're using that shared enemy to rebuild street capacity while my dog kisses my face. Tommy Robinson, the English far-right figure who Elon Musk amplified last night, has explicitly identified as a loyalist. He has alleged ties, shall we say, to Northern Ireland networks. He's not an outside agitator who wandered in. He's a node and network that runs directly into the communities where last night's fires were lit. And here's the deeper irony of all of this. The people who claim to be defending British Northern Ireland, defending the Union, defending Protestant identity, defending their places in the United Kingdom, are doing so by destabilising the Good Friday Agreements, the Good Friday Agreements being the legal and constitutional framework that keeps Northern Ireland within the UK with any degree of stability. If ever the Accords were to collapse, if the peace process unraveled, you don't get a stronger union, you get a faster path to Irish reunification, which personally I would be all for. The demographic trends in Northern Ireland already point that direction. The only thing holding the current constitutional arrangement together is the GFA and the institutions it created. So every riot, every burned bus, every night that makes Belfast look ungovernable, every episode that makes the power-sharing institutions look fragile, that accelerates the conversation about a border poll, about reunification, about whether Northern Ireland's future is in the UK at all. And geographically, many would argue that it's not. Those 6 counties don't belong to the UK. The people, lighting fires in Loyalist Belfast in the name of defending the Union are functionally doing the work of the people who want to end it. I don't think most of the people on those streets last night understand that, but some of the people organizing them do. Kevin Duska from Paramilitaries Inc. And what's burning in Belfast isn't just buses. It's actually the architecture of a peace accord that took 30 years and thousands of lives to build, including innocent men like Bobby Sands, that my grandmother used to say prayers for. Anyway, if you like our content, hit buttons and whatnot. Cheers.